Good day. Well, today we are flying solo, as you heard. Might be sort of typical. Have been for a while. We will start to get some new people on. But what's exciting today is that we will be filming this and shooting these videos to YouTube, in case you guys are curious about what I look like and why I exist. Today, I think this is sort of exciting. We have so many buyers out there who have been struggling a little bit and trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm gonna go over questions you're gonna get through a buyer's questionnaire. Things that are actually seem irrelevant to you when you're looking maybe, but are very relevant to us and will come up later if we find something that you like and may or may not fit your needs later on. Kind of quickly, we're going to run through these. I want you to be familiar with what you might come across as a buyer and what we're going to ask you, what I'm going to ask you, and maybe even have you fill out. I mean, I'm happy to send you this as a PDF. I'll put all that information on the podcast, how to get a hold of me, and I will send you the buyer's questionnaire as a PDF if you'd like, as a kind of a worksheet for you. So I think the number one thing is, where do you want to buy? And this changes for a lot of people. I've had many clients say, I'm really looking for waterfront out in the middle of nowhere, and the next thing you know, we're buying a condo in the city. So that first question is, where do you think you want to buy a property? It's not always what you want to buy right then and there, but it's a good start. How's that? So the next is city or area that you prefer, specific school district. I mean, if you don't have kids, it may not matter to you, or it may matter to you because resale value may have something to do with that. The school systems there, people are specifically looking for good school systems when they buy. Some are not. It's always something I'm ready for that question. I can't tell you what's good and what's not, but I can certainly direct you to where you can look at the school ratings. Do you have any pets? If you're looking for a condo, there will be some pet bylaws in there, and you're going to need to know about them. So, you can have some places are, 50-pound dog max, and if you've got a 75-pound dog that you are, you're not going to give up that dog. We know that. You're going to want to find a condo association that will allow it. And how many pets? There are some restrictions on the amount of pets you can have in a condo association. Usually not site condos, but there will be restrictions. You want a horse, you're going to need 5 acres, and there's all sorts of things. So pets are definitely a concern. We all want to keep our pets, and we want to have the life that we intend to have with our animals. Have you bought and sold a home before? If you've bought one and sold one, it might have been 7 years ago, and you probably don't remember the process. I won't expect you to know anything going into this, so that'll be helpful. Do you have something to sell? Do we need to coordinate that sale of your house with something that you're purchasing? Because we don't want you to be homeless for any amount of time. So it's easy to do. We can definitely figure that out, but we do need to be a little bit more cognizant of the timeline. Do you have a lease? That's a fair assessment. We don't want to get you into a house after your lease expires. That'll be problematic, and we don't want to get in too early. I would say about 3 months before your lease is up, you really want to be pretty serious about buying. And what do you want or need in your new home? Remember, these are 2 different questions. What do you want and need? What do you absolutely need? We absolutely need 3 bedrooms. That's a need. What do you want? We'd like to have 15 bedrooms. Well, okay, but that's not necessary, right? Or we'd like to have a fenced-in yard. You can always put in a fence later. Don't make that something that is a requirement. And we can talk about all that. We'll go over what you want and what you need and anything like that. Do any of your family members have disabilities or conditions that might require specific home features? There are people who are aging and they'd like to be in a ranch. That's perfectly acceptable, something that I'm expecting to see once in a while. Now let's go on to those are some basic questions. Let's go on to your financing. Have you arranged financing yet? If no, that's great. We have plenty of lenders we've worked with. We can recommend give you a little handful of people to reach out to. we can assist you in all of that, and we're pretty knowledgeable over here. We can give you some advice, but I like to make sure that you're getting your advice from the right people, and I will defer to my financial officers for that. Pre-approval letters are required. You need to have a pre-approval letter. Consider that to be like your wallet. You know, you can't go to the store without your wallet and expect to walk out with a couple of tomatoes. You're not going to get anything at the store without your wallet. So your pre-approval letter is basically your wallet. It's your money. And an earnest money deposit. These are some things that I often enough forget to even talk about with my clients if we're not sitting down and going over a questionnaire. A security deposit, it helps. It's required at the beginning. We put it in the contract. I would expect $1,000 per $100,000 purchase. So if you're purchasing something for $200,000, you should have a $2,000 earnest money deposit. That shows the buyer, the seller, that you are a serious buyer. You have the finances in order to put down a deposit. If we stay within the contract boundaries, you will get that back. If we should have to leave the contract due to something with financing or inspections, you will get that back. 9 times out of 10, the buyer does get that money back. The buyer is pretty well protected on a lot of places in this. If you were to walk away prior to closing for no apparent reason, you just changed your mind, you'll have to leave that security deposit behind. So keep that in mind. You're going to want to have that in your account right away, because if we put in an offer, you're going to have to pony up the EMD money immediately. And again, that's $1,000 per $100,000 purchase. That's just a standard rule of thumb. So we need to know how much you're pre-approved for. That may not be how much you want to buy of a house. Let's say you're pre-approved for $500,000, but you feel comfortable in a $300,000 house. That's perfectly acceptable. I just need to make sure that if you're looking at $300,000 houses, you are at least pre-approved for that. It's pretty much up to you what you want to spend. It's certainly not up to me, and we don't have to spend everything that you're qualified for. You just have to let me know what your comfort level is. And let's see, what payment range would you feel comfortable with? That when you're talking about a pre-approval letter and everything else, you should be working with your lender to see, ask them the questions. Ask them, how much does this mean I will be paying per month? And you'll get a very good idea of what that looks like overall. The lenders have a few programs where there are down payment assistance. So you would expect that a 3.5 or above is what's needed to purchase a house. So you have to have a down payment of 3.5%. That's $3,500 per $100,000. And then honestly, you can put down any more that you would like. 20% is great. You should talk to your lender about PMI. All of these things we can go over with you as we're talking to you about purchasing. Now, here's a few more things. Now we'll get into sort of what you might want to buy in your home. What kind of a home would you prefer? Do you have a style you're in looking for? Are you looking for a mid-century modern? Are you looking for a bungalow? Not everybody's looking for that. Most people are looking for, keep your mind open a little bit, unless you're really hell-bent on a mid-century modern. Think about where you want to be. How many is bi-level okay? Definitely rule out things you absolutely don't want. But keep your mind open a little bit. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself too far, because there's only so many houses available. So think about this. Our stair is going to be okay for you. How many? Does your master bedroom need a master bath? Does it need to be on the main floor? How many bathrooms do you want in the house? This is important. There are a lot of little 3-in-1s, meaning 3-bedroom, 1-bath houses out there. Is 1 bathroom enough? Sometimes that half bath is really necessary. Depends on how many people are in your house and how much, or just how you live. Can you live in a smaller place? Is 1,000 square feet enough? Kind of get an idea of how many square feet you would like in the house. Don't get too specific, but just, say I need at least 2,000 or I need at least 1,000, and get an idea of the housing sizes. Now, something that you don't think about very often is there are houses out there without air conditioning, more than you think. Any house that would have baseboard heat or will not have a ductwork system, so they will not have air conditioning unless they've put in a mini split or done something different. So there are houses out there without air conditioning. Something we need to know, that's always a question when you go see a house. Does this house have air? And it's not necessary for everybody, but if you need air conditioning, you might make sure that you're getting that in that house. Do you like an open floor plan? Do you need a formal dining room? When I'm walking through a house with somebody, one of the biggest things I always tell them is, let's look for common space. How much common space is it, and what does that look like? That can be a finished basement, can be common space. This is areas that's other than your bedrooms, areas that you will live in and that you will see yourself and whoever you live with in these spaces and sharing these spaces. So look for the common spaces. Sometimes these big open floor plan places look great, and then if you say, let's rule out everything that's not common space, how much common space do you have? And you end up with like one very small living room. So I think the layout of a house is going to be very important. You got to make sure that you understand what you're looking at when you go into it. We can talk about all these things while we're in the house, all sorts of things that we can look at. Outside spaces are very important to some people and not so much to others. Do you want a deck, a patio, or one of the two? Do you need a place to grill? Do you need a place to throw a frisbee? Do you not care at all? Do you want a smaller lawn because you don't want to take care of it? Just kind of think about these things as you're kind of imagining yourself in your new house. There's all sorts of things that can come with a house. None of these are what I would put on a list, like a sprinkler system. I mean, I would consider those, if those are already in the house when you get there, consider that a bonus. Do not be like, I need an in-ground sprinkler system, or I must have a fenced-in yard. Keep these as sort of bonus items, but not necessary. How many garage spaces do you need? There are houses with no garages at all. Keep in mind when you're looking through the houses online, there are houses with no garages. I mean, to me it's imaginable, but there are houses with no garages. There are houses with heated garages. That's great. Can that mean a little bit more problems? I mean, what if the heater goes out? You have to have more electrics. What if the electrics aren't great? Lots to think about. There really are. How big of a lot do you want? Do you want a small lot? Do you want acreage? With acreage, you're not going to be in the city. So, searching for a house means you give up some things to get some others. But most importantly, think about, I would nail down, how many bedrooms you absolutely need. Do you need one for an office? Are you working from home entirely now? Then you're going to need a home office. Make sure there's something in there for your home office. Make sure that you've got everything you need and as many bathrooms as you think you're going to need. It's really hard to put in another bathroom. It's not a cheap fix. A fence is a cheaper fix. Gated communities are rare. They look gated, but they're not very gated. So on my questionnaire here, I've got a gated community important to you. There are so few of them that I would hope that you're not looking for that. Those are some of the main things. We're going to definitely ask for all of your information, make sure that we can get a hold of you in different ways, and you should be coming forth with what kind of communication would you like. Do you want to be called? Some people prefer a phone call. Some people hate phone calls. They want a text or an email. That way they can get to it when they can get to it. So, let us know what your communication style is, what you'd like that to look like. That's going to be helpful. Know that when you come in to work with us, we're going to want you to sign a buyer's agreement so that you are exclusively working with us, so that we know that you're committed to us and we can commit our time and our efforts to finding you what you're looking for. That's important to everybody, so that you know that we are working. You're at our number one priority. If you're signed in as one of our clients, so that's perfect. This has been sort of a buyer's informational session. It wasn't entirely exciting, but if you are starting to buy a house and you want to feel comfortable doing so, we're here to help you. We're here to help you figure out what that looks like and make sure that we can answer your questions and that you are enjoying the process. I know that we do. We enjoy the process. We think it's fun. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for looking. Thanks for listening. And we will add some links in the podcast description so that you can find us and find ways to find all this information and maybe download this information sheet that we have here, the buyer questionnaire, so you can see it for yourself, and really, that'll help you prep and get set up and do everything you need to do. But thanks for listening. We're going to put out more podcasts. We've been away for a minute, so keep it up. If you have any questions, please contact us at 734-239-3796. Text or call. And arbormove.com is the website, ARBORMOVE.com. You can reach us through the website or search for homes in the area and let us know what you're looking for. We appreciate your time. Take care.